When Canon introduced the EOS R3 in 2021, it was immediately clear that this was not a camera designed to chase trends or impress casual users with flashy specifications. Instead, it felt like a deliberate response to a specific audience that Canon knew very well: professional sports photographers, wildlife shooters, and photojournalists who had grown up trusting the balance, durability, and authority of the EOS 1D series. The EOS R3 carried that same DNA into the mirrorless era. From the moment it was picked up, it communicated seriousness. It felt dense, stable, and purpose-built, like a tool meant to work every day in demanding environments. Now, years later, attention is turning toward the next step in that lineage. The Canon EOS R3 Mark II is no longer a distant rumor; it is becoming an increasingly relevant topic as the professional camera market continues to evolve. One of the main reasons the Canon EOS R3 Mark II discussion is gaining traction is timing. Canon has a long history of aligning major professional releases with global sporting events, moments when high-performance cameras are not just tools but center-stage instruments. With major international competitions approaching, the opportunity for Canon to refresh its professional lineup is strategically ideal. At the same time, the original EOS 3 South African Rand is now several years into its life cycle. For a performance-focused professional body, 4 years is a substantial stretch. During that time, the competitive landscape has changed significantly. Sony has made headlines by pushing global shutter technology into the mainstream professional market. Nikon has refined its stacked sensor designs and autofocus systems. Canon itself has reasserted its dominance at the top with the EOS R1. In this context, the Canon EOS R3 Mark II is not just about replacing an older model, it is about redefining where the R3 line sits in a far more competitive and technologically advanced environment. To understand what the Canon EOS R3 Mark II is likely to become, it is essential to look at sensor philosophy rather than raw numbers. The original EOS R3 featured a 24-megapixel stacked CMOS sensor, and that choice was intentional. Canon prioritized readout speed, minimal rolling shutter distortion, and consistent performance in fast-action scenarios over headline-grabbing resolution. That decision resonated with professionals who value reliability more than megapixel bragging rights. Expectations for the Canon EOS R3 Mark II suggest that Canon will stay true to this philosophy. Rather than chasing higher resolution for its own sake, the focus is expected to remain on speed, dynamic range, and clean high ISO output. There is increasing speculation about Canon moving closer to a global shutter-style solution, or at least significantly improving readout speed to minimize common issues faced by professionals. This is not a theoretical improvement, it has very real consequences in the field. Stadium lighting, especially LED systems, can introduce banding artifacts that ruin otherwise perfect shots. Fast-moving subjects can distort under rolling shutter, particularly in electronic shutter modes. If the Canon EOS R3 Mark II can reduce or eliminate these problems, it would offer immediate, tangible benefits to working photographers. High ISO performance is equally critical. The original EOS R3 earned a reputation for producing dependable files well into high ISO territory, and that reliability is likely to remain a core strength of the Mark II. Maintaining moderate resolution supports faster continuous shooting, deeper buffers, and stable performance, qualities that matter far more when moments cannot be repeated. Beyond the sensor itself, processing power will play a defining role in shaping the Canon EOS R3 Mark II experience. Canon's digic processors have been refined over many generations, but the demands of modern autofocus systems and AI-driven subject recognition are increasing rapidly. Canon has already introduced additional processing components to handle advanced tasks, but a more modern core imaging processor could unlock noticeable improvements. Better noise reduction without sacrificing detail, smoother tonal transitions, and faster autofocus calculations all contribute to higher keeper rates in real-world shooting. Sports and wildlife photographers often work in cluttered environments where subjects overlap and backgrounds are unpredictable. Improved processing logic can make the difference between a missed frame and a decisive image. Handling and shooting experience are areas where the Canon EOS R3 Mark II is expected to refine rather than reinvent. Professional photographers spend long hours tracking action through the viewfinder, often under intense pressure. Viewfinder quality is therefore critical. An upgraded electronic viewfinder with higher resolution, improved refresh rates, and reduced latency would enhance the shooting experience significantly. A smoother, more natural view helps photographers stay connected to the action and reduces eye fatigue during extended assignments. Given Canon's recent advancements in viewfinder technology with other high-end models, it would not be surprising to see those improvements carry over to the Canon EOS R3 Mark II. Eye control AF remains one of the most distinctive features of the R3 line, and it is an area ripe for further refinement. While the original implementation already demonstrated its potential, advancements in AI and subject recognition could push this feature much further. An improved eye control system could better interpret photographer intent in complex scenes, such as crowded sports environments or chaotic wildlife situations. The idea is not to replace traditional autofocus controls but to complement them, reducing the effort required to keep focus where it matters most. For professionals, this kind of intuitive assistance can translate into greater consistency and less fatigue over the course of long shooting days. Although still photography is the primary focus of the Canon EOS R3 Mark II, video capabilities cannot be ignored. The modern professional is increasingly expected to deliver both stills and motion, often within the same assignment. Canon is unlikely to turn the R3 Mark II into a cinema-focused camera, but reliable, high-quality video features would add significant value. Stable internal recording, professional codecs, and effective heat management matter far more than experimental features. High-resolution video options, such as advanced 6K recording modes, would make sense for agencies and clients who need motion clips alongside still images. Canon's consistent color science across stills and video remains a major advantage, simplifying workflows and ensuring visual continuity. The question of resolution inevitably surfaces whenever a new professional camera is discussed. Some photographers argue for higher megapixel counts to allow greater cropping flexibility, particularly in wildlife photography. Others insist that speed, responsiveness, and low-light performance are more important. The Canon EOS R3 Mark II must navigate this balance carefully. A significant increase in resolution could compromise burst rates, buffer depth, or high ISO quality, undermining the very qualities that define the R3 line. Looking at competitors helps frame the challenge. Sony maintains clear distinctions between its speed-focused and resolution-focused models. Nikon blends roles but still emphasizes specific strengths. Canon often allows overlap between categories, which can be advantageous, but it also requires careful positioning. For the Canon EOS R3 Mark II to coexist alongside the EOS R1, it must maintain a clear identity centered on speed, reliability, and handling. When all these factors are considered together, the Canon EOS R3 Mark II represents an important opportunity for Canon. It can reaffirm its commitment to speed-focused professional photography while refining the technologies that matter most to working shooters. If Canon stays true to the R3's original philosophy, prioritizing responsiveness, dependable autofocus, refined processing, and robust handling, the Mark II will have a clear and valuable place in the lineup. If expectations are not met, the original EOS R3 may remain a unique transitional model in Canon's mirrorless history. Ultimately, cameras at this level are judged not by rumors or specifications but by performance in the field. As more concrete details emerge, the Canon EOS R3 Mark II will be evaluated through real-world use, honest experience, and the demands of professionals who rely on their gear every single day.